everybody. This is your KidStuff See and Read video book. As you listen to the Rainbow Brite story, you can read along with the words at the bottom of the screen. Get ready now for Rainbow Brite and the Risky Rescue. It was early when Rainbow Brite woke up. She stretched and yawned and jumped out of bed. Then she went to the window of her room in the Color Castle to watch the sunrise over Rainbow Land. Rainbow Brite looked this way and that. She looked down at her very best friend and magical horse Starlight munching the honey-sweet clover outside the castle. She looked across to the prism pond. She looked out at the sprites' little houses and gardens. Then she looked up at the pits, that gray and gloomy hill where the evil Murky Dismal lived. Something was troubling Rainbow Brite, and she didn't quite know what it was. But she would soon find out. She called to Starlight.
"We have work to do today, Starlight. I have a feeling that something is wrong in Rainbow Land. Let's pick up Twink and check things out."
So Rainbow Brite and her favorite sprite, Twink, climbed on Starlight and set off through Rainbow Land. They hadn't gone very far when Rainbow Brite's suspicions proved to be true. There was something wrong. In fact, there was more than one thing wrong. The blue lagoon was green. And the Red River was orange.
"This is terrible!"
cried Rainbow Brite.
"What can we do?"
asked Starlight. It took Rainbow Brite only a moment to decide.
"We'd better get back to the castle. Maybe the Color Kids can help get to the bottom of this."
Rainbow Brite called the Color Kids together and explained what she had seen. But the Color Kids were just as puzzled as Rainbow was.
"I didn't let the blue lagoon go green,"
said Buddy Blue.
"I didn't let the Red River go orange,"
said Red Butler.
"Then who did?"
asked Rainbow Brite, looking around at the other Color Kids.
"I didn't have anything to do with it,"
said Patio Green.
"Neither did I,"
said Lala Orange. Just then, Shy Violet's eyes lit up behind her big round glasses.
"Wait, everyone,"
she said. Rainbow and the Color Kids all turned to listen to Shy Violet because she was always right. Shy Violet explained,
"Just think for a minute. What color mixes with blue to make green? And what color mixes with red to make orange?"
"Yellow!"
cried all the Color Kids.
"Exactly,"
said Shy Violet.
"Now look around. Where's Canary Yellow?"
Canary Yellow was missing.
"Oh no!"
cried Rainbow Brite.
"I'll bet Murky Dismal has caught her again. We'll have to check out the pits."
Everyone agreed with Rainbow Brite. They knew this was very risky business because Murky Dismal was always plotting and planning ways to trick Rainbow Brite and her friends. Rainbow quickly organized all the Color Kids and sprites.
"The only way to rescue Canary Yellow is to sneak up on the pits and take Murky Dismal by surprise."
Rainbow Brite led the Color Kids and sprites as they quietly crawled through the gloom on the hill. As they got closer to the pits, they could hear Murky Dismal mumbling and grumbling, grumbling and mumbling. The closer they got, the better they could hear him, and the worse he sounded.
"You will do as I say!"
shouted Murky Dismal.
"Yeah, do as he said,"
repeated Lurky.
"I will not! I will not!"
cried Canary Yellow.
"This is more serious than I thought,"
said Rainbow Brite as she crawled along.
"We'll have to do something drastic and do it quickly if we want to beat Murky Dismal and rescue Canary Yellow."
Just then, Rainbow got an idea. She turned to the sprites and whispered,
"I'm going to need a super supply of star sprinkles. Can you get them quickly and bring them here?"
The sprites nodded. Then each went scooting off to the section of Rainbow Land where his special sprinkles were stored. While the sprites were gone, Rainbow explained her plans to the color kids. Several twinklings later, the sprites returned, carrying huge sacks of star sprinkles. Rainbow turned to the color kids and whispered,
Spread out around the pits. Then at the count of 3, go to it. 1, 2, 3.
At Rainbow's signal, Buddy Blue blasted a bolt of the brightest blue star sprinkles right into Murky Dismal's dark and dreary cave. Red Butler released a ray of the rosiest red into the gloom. Lala Orange zapped in some of her zestiest orange. Patio Green pitched in the liveliest green. Indigo threw in her deep reddish blue. And Shy Violet flipped in a volley of violet hue. Soon, crazy rainbows of happy colors were bouncing back and forth off the walls of the pits like fireworks on the 4th of July, like shooting stars all over the heavens.
Stop! Stop!
Came a cry from deep inside the cave, and moments later, 2 figures came running out. It was Murky Dismal and Lurky. They were staggering out, holding their hands over their eyes.
No more!
Cried Murky.
I can't stand the bright lights. I'll do anything you say, if only you'll stop those happy colors.
Yeah,
Cried Lurky.
we'll do anything.
Anything?
Asked Rainbow Brite. Murky Dismal nodded.
Yes, anything!
Then let Canary Yellow go.
Murky turned and disappeared into the pits. Moments later, he returned with Canary Yellow. Pointing to Rainbow Brite, Murky snarled.
You put one over on me this time, Rainbow Brat, but I'll get even with all of you. Just you wait and see.
Yeah, just wait and see.
Snarled Lurky. Nobody paid any attention to Murky Dismal. They were all too busy fussing over Canary Yellow. Canary's usual smiling eyes were filled with tears as she sobbed.
Murky Dismal made me do it. He made me mix yellow and turn the blue lagoon green. He made me mix yellow and turn the red river orange. He said if I didn't do it, he would turn all of Rainbow Land dark.
Rainbow Brite put her arm around Canary's shoulder and gently said,
There, don't cry. We'll make everything turn out right.
The color kids and sprites carried Canary Yellow on their shoulders back to the color castle for a welcome home party. Rainbow Brite went off with Twink and Starlight to see what they could do to get things back to normal. Even though she would have liked to join in the celebration, Rainbow still felt that her work should come first. Riding on Starlight, Rainbow Brite and Twink headed for the Blue Lagoon. There she sifted just the right amount of star sprinkles through her fingers and turned the Green Lagoon back to blue again. Then they rode to Red River. Again, Rainbow Brite sifted just the right amount of star sprinkles through her fingers and turned the Orange River back to red again.
What a day it has been.
Rainbow said to Starlight and Twink when she was finished.
But